Over a week ago, you released your fifth studio album, Screaming Bloody Murder. Did you do anything different this time around than you did on the previous albums?
Yeah, I guess it was a little different this time. We just kind of, the recording process was a lot different on this one, and I think our frame of mind was a little different. This time we rented a house in Hollywood and all lived together, and there was a studio in the house, so we we lived there, and we've never really done that before. In the past, we've just kind of rented a studio out and then gone to our hotels after. This time we kind of were forced to just live the album more or less. So that was kind of different, and I think just the way we were thinking on this one was a little different, in the way we were kind of given deadlines for things, and we really were not really listening to anyone. We were just kind of taking our time doing things on our own terms. Whereas I think in the past maybe we were listening a little bit more of when there was deadlines to be had. This time we just didn't really care about anything except making the best album we could.
The album was originally supposed to be produced by Gil Norton, but Derek ended up producing it. What made you decide to have Derek produce this album instead of Gil?
We had interviewed a lot of producers for this album, and we really wanted a producer. And Gil we thought was the best fit. He'd done a lot of albums that we liked, and but I guess you don't really know how you work with someone until you actually start working with someone. So once we started working with Gil, it was he had this kind of process that he was kind of used to doing for the last 25, 30 years, and we had a different kind of process how we like to work, and I guess they just didn't really fit. And so after we had done the drums and pre-production with them, we just decided it was just better for us to do it on our own, and Derek just took over after that.
He produced your last album too.
Yeah.
Was that the first album that he produced for the band?
I think he co-produced our EP in 2000 called Half Hour Power with our producer Greg Norrie. But he's always kind of been involved in a lot of the production side of the band, so it wasn't anything. Having him just put his name on the album was the only real difference. He's always kind of just been involved in it all from the beginning, so it wasn't really anything different for us.
The last week or so you've been doing some promo stuff, like playing at Guitar Center and Jimmy Kimmel and stuff, and then you did a secret show last Friday. Did MySpace come to you about that? Because they haven't done secret shows in a while.
Yeah, they were, I'm not really sure how that really came up. We got, our manager approached us and said, do you guys want to do a MySpace secret show? And we said, yes, that's fine. And so I don't really know. That was the first, they told us they hadn't done it in a long time the day of. I didn't even really know. I know a couple friends of mine in a band called Billy Talent that had done it in the past, and they said it was really cool, but that was probably 2 or 3 years ago. So I didn't even know they weren't doing it anymore, so I don't really know if we approached them or they approached us.
And you've been giving out free stuff at a bunch of this stuff, like the secret show. You gave out posters, and on Sunday when you did the video shoot, you gave out t-shirts and stuff as all promo for the new album. But I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, when you do a video shoot like that, it's kind of like you're asking kids to give up, a whole day to come and help you film a video. So I think it's only good of us to give them something in return, since they gave us their whole day to use them in our video. So
I don't think most bands give out free stuff when you come to their shoots.
Well, they should.
Yeah. The first single that you released was Screaming Bloody Murder, and you've been playing that along with another song called Scumfuck at your shows lately. Which song do you enjoy playing the most, and which song do you think is the fan favorite?
That's a tough I mean, Scumfuck's probably been the song that people have known the longest because it leaked a lot, like months and months and months ago. But Scream Bloody Murder is obviously the single, so kids kind of have been hearing that more. They both kind of go over in a way of like an old song now, because I guess with it being on the internet and YouTube and all this stuff for a long time, people can just go listen to it at any point they want. So it just kind of feels like both of those songs are like you're playing an old song. Everyone knows all the words and stuff like that. But I think we're going to start playing, now that the album's out, we'll start playing some more new ones as well.
Those are the only two that you've played so far live?
Yeah, we don't really like to play too many new ones before the album's out, because it's kind of one of those things. We like to kind of put on a show that we would want to go to, and I've been to a lot of shows in my life, and I've been to a lot of shows where bands will play like majority of their new album, and it's not even out yet, so you don't really know it. So you kind of stand there for half the show, not really knowing the songs. And so we just always talk about that, before the album's out, we should just keep it to one or two songs, and then once the album's out, we'll play a lot more.
On Sunday, you finally got to shoot a video for Screaming Bloody Murder. The original idea was rejected by your label.
I think it was more of just, it just took, I don't know what's been going on with this video, to be honest. Like the video ideas have been going around for a couple months. I think it was a lot to do with, funding, and there was a lot to do with, maybe had a little bit to do with the idea. But, finally, and we were on tour for a long time too. There was just no time, and it's just, this video has just been a long time coming, and we finally got to do it, so we're pretty happy to have it done. But there was just a lot of things that were kind of holding us back from doing it. Biggest one probably just, the idea and funding.
Did you get to use the original idea?
It's somewhat. I can't really tell you what the video's about right now, because it's still being kind of worked on, actually. Even though we've done the shoot, it's still actually being tweaked.
Yeah, you guys said that the fans can't really say anything about it.
Yeah. It's kind of a secret for now.
But Steve directed it. Was that the first video that he's directed for you guys, or has he done some in the past?
No, he did. What did he do? He co-directed one off the last one, and he fully directed the third single off the last one. And then he also has directed 2 videos for my side project, Operation MD, like 4 years ago. And he's done other stuff too. So he's kind of been directing videos for 4 or 5 years now. And he's getting really good at it. Yeah.
It's also been announced that you have another single coming out in May for What Am I to Say?
No. That must be a rumor.
That must be a rumor then, because I read that there was a video shot for it and everything.
Oh, no. No, that most likely won't be the next single. We're actually talking about, next week we have a call about what the next single is going to be, but I don't think that's even on the list.
Okay, when are you expecting the Screaming Bloody Murder video to be released? In the next month or so?
Yeah, I would say in the next month. It should be, hopefully 3 to 4 weeks.
So far you only have tour dates for Japan and Europe in May. Do you have a U.S. tour in the works?
Yeah, we're looking at probably a U.S. tour when we come home from Europe, which would be, middle of July. We're kind of looking at what we're going to do in the U.S., but that's kind of like the time we have blocked off for the U.S. and Canada would be like middle of July and August.
What would your dream tour be if you could tour with anyone and tour anywhere?
That's dead or alive?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a tough one. I mean, my favorite band ever is the Clash. So if the late great Joe Strummer was still alive, I'd like to tour with the Clash. Metallica, Elvis Costello, David Bowie, Iggy Pop. Be a pretty good lineup, I think, right there.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good tour.
Yeah.
You guys formed the band about 15 years ago. When you started the band, did you ever imagine you'd be where you are today?
I think we knew that we were going to be a band for a long time, but, you can never predict. We just knew, we were hard-working kids when we were teenagers. That's all we really thought about was being in a band, and we practiced when we were, 15, 16 years old. We still were practicing 4 or 5 times a week, so we always knew that we were going to keep going as a band. We just didn't know how successful we'd be, and so we're lucky to be in the situation right now as we are right now. If we didn't get as successful as we are now, then we would still probably just be a band just playing around in our area. So now it's people have asked me that before, but it's kind of like you can never really think you're gonna do it, but you just work your hardest, and we were really hardworking kids when we were teenagers. So
you used to do a lot of DIY stuff when you first started. I saw a lot of the home videos that you would make for the band, and
yeah, and I think it's getting kind of back to that now. The only difference is it's a little easier to do it now because stuff like YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff. But yeah, we did a lot of that. Make your own videos, and we used to put them on VHS tapes and hand them out. It's actually a lot more expensive to do it that way. So I'm kind of happy that YouTube.
I have a bunch of those.
Yeah.
From the
I'm glad kind of YouTube has come along where you can just post it now. But yeah, and I think today it's kind of getting back to that. You kind of have to do it on your own, especially when record labels aren't really giving as much money for stuff as a lot of bands are seeing now. You kind of just have to go and do it on your own, and it's not a bad thing. It's just what's that?
It's always better that way to do everything on your own, because then you can call the shots and everything.
It's a good way to keep a connection with your fans too. Because I think a lot of times when you get people doing everything for you all the time, you start to get this disconnect with your fans, and I think they realize it too. So it's good to be hands-on and keep in contact with your fans and make videos for your fans and all that stuff.
Do you have any final words for your fans?
Well, it's, thanks for the support over 11 years that we started putting out albums, and we'll see everyone on the U.S. tour soon.
Okay, thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks for talking. Thanks for the interview.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking the time to do it.
All right.
Later.
See you later.